only on esportbf.com.
We are going to be seeing Danger Zone on the German side, and iDz will be on the United Kingdom side, which I think is probably the harder side overall. We've seen a lot of, I would say the majority of our 3 caps that we do see on this particular map is the German team 3-capping the United Kingdom team pretty frequently. So it is going to be pretty dangerous for these guys to get stuck in that situation. We'll see if that ends up happening here. But we're going to get this thing rolling and started. And right now, Atunes is going to be coming all the way back here onto the C flag. He's actually making it very, very fast. I don't even know if they sent somebody over there towards that B flag, but they are going to be getting this contesting going really, really fast. Nice little defense that's going to be going down, though, from Battletoads, but not going to be lasting too long as he does get picked up. So we are going to be seeing that C flag going very quickly into the hands right now of iDz. So they've got to be loving that. I mean, honestly, getting that 2 flag cap right off the break, it's not the most ideal setup, but hey, it's going to be putting, I would say, DzA in a really weird position.
Yeah, I was kind of really surprised there that Danger Zone didn't have somebody overlooking kind of that road flank there. Normally somebody's already up on the silos to try and stop that rotation. You know, Battletoads was on the C flag, but it didn't really seem like he was paying much attention, and that ended up being an easy early 2 cap for iDz.
We do see a rotation, though, coming on in for DzA, and I love this, just going straight for the A flag. And, you know, a lot of teams, I find that they are a little bit more afraid to go for their opponent's home flag in this situation, which, to be completely honest with you, I think that is absolutely the route that you should go. Just go ahead, rotate for the home flag, because you already know there's at least 1, maybe 2 players back on your own home flag. And so they are going to be able to clean up over here onto Bravo. Does look like we see a rotation again. I mean, this is just rotation of the teams. Look at this. We have 3 people from each team just basically going on to the next flag. Glitz was trying to do some work over here onto C, but couldn't quite do it as he does get completely overwhelmed. We do see him now pushing in onto the A flag. So this has just been a really weird so far start. Nobody getting any advantage. Just a lot of flag trades.
Yeah, it just seems like nobody's really oriented like their priority on gaining that middle map control, which, you know, playing a lot of Lafontaine Islands, getting mid map control is really important to winning this map. It seems like they're just kind of running circles around each other, as you said, as we see some kills going out, getting traded here. Danger Zone, rather, getting some crucial kills on the A flag, and it looks like they're in the Bravo flag as well, so we might actually see a triple cap here. But yeah, it looks like Danger Zone has actually gathered some of that mid-map control, and it's allowed them to get an early advantage here. But yeah, it was kind of just a weird start there. You know, just nobody really enforcing their will upon the mid-map, and we find ourselves in an early triple cap here, Brett.
Yeah, the saving grace right now is the fact that we don't have anybody from DzA all the way into the back over here on C. Big spawn bomb is going to be happening, though. So nothing's really going to be changing, I think, for DzA. They're pretty much just going to be rotating back and looking for the defense on the other side of the map. But they are going to have to look for that pinch over there onto A. Right now, Knee is doing a decent job of holding off this rotation coming in onto that C flag. He is going to be able to spot him out. Not quite getting the kill on it just yet. Spinner, though, doing a decent job of picking up a few over there next to A. And, oh my god, the exchanges are actually pretty damn decent back and forth, but it does look like DzA will be able to come out on top, getting back up and getting those revives, which are going to be very, very crucial in this match. And they are going to be able to put some pressure here, it looks like, onto that C flag. Where are the spawns coming in, actually? Very slow and sluggish. So we have 2 players that are going to be back in for iDz. Yeah, so we have 4-man spawn bomb. Nobody actually coming in from main to get the spawn back over onto A, which I don't really agree with. I think at this point in time, with the amount of pressure that's coming in on the C, would be a good opportunity, because you know there's going to be at least 2. And in this case, there's actually 3 guys here from DzA onto the C flag. You might as well just go ahead, try to get back your home flag.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, the really tricky thing about occupying your enemy's home flag is they can attack you from multiple angles, and at that point you need to try and recognize that, hey, they're probably going to try and trap you on that flag, spawning both at your deploy point and also spawning at the Bravo flag. And that rotation was going to come in eventually. It looks like they're on the flag now, but that rotation just came a little bit too late. Just taking a look at the team composition there, I was gonna say, I don't know if iDz is running a support player, but I do see that Indominuz is or Jax is running the FG42 now, and that's what I was going to point out to you. It's like it doesn't seem like iDz has developed some kind of map control by not having a support player covering some of those longer lanes. They seem to be very heavy on their medic and their assault, but I stand corrected. There is a support player there, and it does look like Danger Zone does have iDz on the run here. Chasing them around, getting out the trades and the kills, and they just seem to be really dominant right now. As iDz is going to try and rotate on the Bravo flag to see if they get it.
Well, one of the things that I have seen a lot. This is mainly from the PC side of things. But we typically, for PC, see at least one of the support players setting up with some kind of a bipod, typically like a Lewis gun or something like that, over there that has a decent amount of ammo, and they hold down that top northern side of the map, and just to make sure that they're not going to be leaking anybody out there. And it's also a really good opportunity to let your teammates know when there is going to be a push out on that particular side. So you may die, but you're basically like a canary or an early warning system in that sense. And you haven't really seen that a whole lot from these guys. They've been pretty much going hard at it on each other, and just not really trying to hold any lanes on it just yet. We do see right now an attack coming in from iDz. It is not going to be successful onto that B just yet, but they are going to get wiped off of Bravo. Atunis is going to be trying to make his way over here. He ends up getting taken down as well, and unfortunately, they are not going to be able to successfully defend onto that Bravo cap. We are once again in another triple cap scenario. Like I said, the saving grace so far is that iDz has been able to keep these players in the kind of odd positions. Now, Fix is going to be a critical player here, and he could potentially hold this off. So far, he's going to be able to pick up one. Looking for number 2. Big spawns are going to be coming back. 3 players are up, but one of them does get taken down. Revives are going to be crucial here in this situation for iDz, but DzA is, oh no, they're going to get wiped out. 2 go down almost immediately. There's a third. Battletoads is the only one in a position to possibly do something onto the C flag. He does end up connecting with at least one, but 2 players will be able to get on the Charlie and burn that down super fast. And now that we do have those spawns coming back in, they should be able to hold on to this. Battletoads, though, doing a fantastic job of still staying alive. He picks up another one, could possibly get the complete wipe, but spawns are going to be coming back in. So Battletoads, he is basically just wasting his time. Or not wasting his time, but he's giving too much time to the other team, and they are eventually going to go down. His teammates do manage to get back into that C flag cap area, but 46 tickets now to 134. We're approaching a 100 ticket game, and that's going to be pretty scary, especially since this is round number 1.
Yeah, that's not the start that I'm sure iDz was looking for, but Battletoads just doing a really masterful job of understanding when to fight and when to flight, and understanding that you don't necessarily have to be the hero, and he ends up actually coming in with a pretty huge play, knocking down a couple of iDz players on the C flag, buying his team time to get those rotations through mid-map here, and it's really allowed Danger Zone to continue to put their boot on the necks of iDz in this first round. And as you said, Brett, I mean, we're entering 100 ticket win territory already, and sure, you could argue about, well, maybe Danger Zone has the easier side of things, but still 100 tickets is 100 tickets. And I don't know about you, Brett, but it just kind of seems like these teams are zerg rushing around each other and not really giving much thought to actually trying to control the map as much as maybe some other regions, and maybe that's just something that can point to the difference in region and difference in platform.
Well, we do see iPaz right now over onto that A flag. He is fairly low on health, though, but he is going to be having that medic kit, so it's going to help him out quite a bit. He does get those heals going down very, very quickly. And he's going to be in a 1-on-2 situation here, as they are going to try and hold on to this 2 cap. Nice little pickup there with the hipfire spray, but he does get caught out by the second player, so that's going to give a little bit of a win, I guess you could say, for iDz, as they do try and hold on to this B site. Atunis is doing a great job. He picks up 2, but not going to be able to get the 3rd, as he's completely overwhelmed. And yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a lot of zerging involved in this particular game here, and it's not 100%. I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? Rare, I guess, for South Americans. Back in the PC days for South America, they were the Zerg kings in 5v5 Battlefield 4 back when I was casting, and that was really their thing. And they actually took the European crowd pretty much by surprise in a lot of their tournaments. So It may just be a region thing that is over there, but they're definitely good at it. I will say they have some really, really good tactics that follow along with it. But we are going to be seeing right now Henrique trying to get onto that A side as much as possible. He's picking up a couple of players, only able to find one. He does spot out a second, but that's going to be his teammates picking him up. Is it enough, though? I doubt it, because they are just now securing over onto the day flag, and we are going to be seeing only 3 tickets left. So this is going to be a 120-plus game going into round number 2. And as much as I would love to stay positive here, that is a pretty tall order.
Listen, Brett, if there's one thing that you and I have learned about really big ticket leads in our time that we've casted together, I don't know. It's something you can never truly count out, but just at this point in the match, calling it like we see it, Danger Zone just has complete control. They're winning their gunfights when they need to. They kind of just seem to have Indominus on the run, and they had them on the run pretty much from the word go. And it's going to be interesting to see how Indominus rebounds on the second side of the map. They are going to get what I consider to be the stronger side of the map. They're going to have some easier positions that are a little bit easier to hold down when it comes to the map control. But I don't know, Brett, 120, what was it, 126 something tickets, something like that. That's a very tall order.
Yes, it is. All right, so we are going to be back in, guys, and we have swap sides. Now it's going to be an opportunity right now for iDz to possibly come back and do some work here, but this is still going to be pretty tough.
It'll be interesting to see, how these teams the second time around kind of adapt to what one another is doing, whether they dedicate more players to watching specific lanes or they just keep going around with the super aggro play style that we've seen so far for them, just kind of rushing around and, playing in that chaotic play style, getting trades on kills when they need to, and just overall trying to outfrag each other. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments are going to be made as well. Let's see if Indominus can, if not, make this game a little interesting, try and climb their way back into it, and maybe even win the map. Who knows?
See if that is going to be the case right now. iDz with a potential to get a 3 cap of their own. We saw last time how effective that was for DzA, and how much that they were able to really get out to that massive lead that we saw fairly early on, I would have to say. I mean, they were, after those initial probably, 3 flag trades or so, it was pretty dominant throughout the entirety of the match. But it does look like DzA is going to be winning a lot of these engagements. 2 players are going to be left up for iDz. It looks like it is going to be going in the way of iDz potentially here, as they are going to be able to get those revives onto that B flag. So that is a huge win for these guys, as DzA here will be leaving a guy on the back, and Battletoads is going to be set up with that LMG. Now, this is the one that you were talking about before. You have the FG, pretty decent gun, I would have to say. Probably one of the more popular LMGs for, or back before, what was it, like 5.2 patch or something like that?
Yeah, 5.2.
Really, yeah, really good gun. And oh my god, look at that. Jax comes around the corner, picks up 3 kills with the ZK, makes it look easy. That is a complete domination on that team. I think that may have been a full wipe. Pretty damn close to it, but that was insane right there, as Jax just completely dominates right there. And iDz now getting immediately onto that A flag. DzA is going to be in some massive trouble here, as we do see that triple cap possibly going on down. C flag is getting contested, but it does look like it's going to go back into the favor here of iDz. DzA now picking up 1, maybe 2 players here onto this A side. Now he is going to be getting onto it here, and he is in a 1-on-2 situation. He does get wiped. So that will be a triple cap coming in, but on the other side of the map, we do see a 2-man push that's going to be following up. Glitz all alone. And this is an interesting gun choice. What is he shooting, the Bren here?
Yeah, that would be the Bren. I don't know that would necessarily be my choice of a weapon. I mean, I know there are some players out there who do love the Bren as their main weapon, but I think this map is very much so at least probably a Lewis gun or an FG42 map, maybe even the bar. But Bren wouldn't exactly be my first choice, as I said, but kind of what I'm. They call me Nostradamus sometimes. Kind of what I hinted to at the very beginning here. We might as well have just seen triple caps of our own, and it looks like just like Danger Zone had iDz on the run for the majority of last round, Brett. Tables have turned here, and iDz is chasing Danger Zone around the map here, although it does look like Danger Zone has a little bit more maneuverability when it comes to their rotations, and I think the saving grace there was Battletoads winning a 1v1 out on that C rotation as soon as Jax came in with that triple kill about a minute ago. But still some tall order here from DzA to try and break themselves out of this really tough spot they've gotten themselves into.
See if that's going to be the case. They have managed to get onto Alpha, but they are dealing with more and more pressure. As we do see Impaz doing a great job so far. He picked up one. He spotted out a second one. Wasn't able to get the kill on him though, but he's going to be getting that pressure on the Bravo. And I think that's really important here in that kind of situation where you don't really want to hold too long. I mean, when you're already down 50 tickets or so, you want to go ahead and just kind of push out as fast as possible when you do have that opportunity. I know you want to be kind of safe a little bit, but got to get those pressure, get that pressure on those other flags, especially when you're 2 flags down. It does look like we see a 2-man push back over here onto that Alpha flag. They are really wanting to get onto A, and I cannot blame them. Henrique, though, is going to be down below, and he spots out one, does a little bit of damage, but there's too many players there from DzA. They will be able to take him down. So iDz is going to just, wow. I was going to say they're going to back up just a little bit, maybe soak some of this time, but as soon as I say that, Jax just flies right onto this A site again. This is like the never-ending pressure.
I know this is just full pedal to the metal, and maybe I just watch and cast and play too many EU and NA games, but I mean, these guys, essentially, it just seems like the game plan is like, okay, whoever goes absolutely nuts first gets a 3-piece and gets the man advantage. That team just legitimately goes too fast, too furious, and puts a brick on the gas pedal and just does not let up. As we see Battletoads here making a rotation on the C flag, Impasse on the A flag, and a 2v1. He's gonna get some spawns off eventually, but it's never-ending pressure. Brett, it's really actually exciting to watch.
I do like what they are doing. If you are on iDz side, I mean, there's no reason why you can't put this pressure on, especially since you're winning these gunfights on the top side of the map over here next to C. They've been able to keep them off of this Charlie flag for the majority of this match. So if you can do that and you can continuously push into the middle of the map, then do it. More power to you. There's absolutely no reason that says that you have to play slow, that you have to play the numbers. If you can keep that pressure on, and yeah, you may be dying and you may not be getting the best KD, but the other team is never going to get that 2 flag cap. And at the end of the day, it's all about how much time can you hold that 2 cap. And if you can hold it for longer, well, you're going to be able to win more than likely. So you see iPaz coming around. He was able to pick up one, and they are finally going to be able to clear out onto that C flag. So that does give a 2 flag cap finally to DzA in this round, 134-76. And Tuez is going to go ahead and push down onto Bravo. But we are going to be seeing a pinch coming in very, very quickly.
Yeah, iDz is running a little bit low on tickets. I mean, that's kind of the only negative to the way that they performed over the course of this map is the fact that, of course, they got beaten pretty badly the first round and they only have a couple of tickets to work with here. But, you talk about how fast these players are playing, and it only really works if both teams are playing at the same speed, because if one team is playing passively, playing smart, and the other team is just rushing around and getting themselves killed, you're going to probably find yourself in a very bad situation very quickly. But since these teams really appear to be matching each other's aggressiveness, it's appeared to really equal or cancel each other out, as DzA coming in with a triple cap here, or at least a close one, and they've kind of been able to get out of this cycle of just pure aggressiveness pretty early.
Nice. Bidoki here did a great job of coming on into that B side. He's going to be able to pick up 2. And I gotta say, I was very, very surprised to see him being able to get up through that middle. They had absolutely nobody watching for the defense there towards mid-map, but he finally does end up going down. So Bravo is safe, though, for the time being. DzA is going to now return that favor. A nice little trade there, actually. But they're going to return the favor and put the pressure in onto iDz. And this is going to be really interesting to see because they have been able to fight up this 3-cap. I mean, I don't really think that... I don't think that iDz had an actual, like a true 3-cap for more than just maybe a few seconds or so. Nice little headshot there. But this is really, really good work, I think, from them. Very good composure to be able to hold that off and to not just completely collapse as a team. So right now, Battletoads is going to be in the middle of the map here with one of his teammates, and I think they will be able to hold off this one individual. Yes, it is going to be a trade, but should be seeing those revives coming in from his squad mate. But I would say this is a good bounce back. 71-96. They are going to be able to hold on to that 2 flag cap, and in this situation, when you are kind of pushed back into the C flag, exactly what should these guys be doing if you are on iDz? I mean, obviously, you had some good pressure going on there at the very beginning, but now it's looking like the frags just are not going your way.
Well, you just need to really keep that composure, as you said. I mean, especially when you're playing this fast, it's very easy to get overwhelmed and just very chaotic. As as long as you're communicating well with your teammates and you're getting out the kills and the trades that you need to, there's not really much more you can do besides not get overwhelmed. I mean, we've seen a lot of Zerg rushing. We've seen a lot of aggressiveness, as we keep saying, from both sides so far. I think we actually saw a KE7 around there as well. So even now, we're electing for some of the faster fire weapons, the FG42, KE7. We're going to try and I feels more like just ramp up the pressure more and more, Brett. But when it comes to iDz, just trying not to get overwhelmed here. They're doing the best that they can. Unfortunately, with players like Impaz and Battletoads on the side of DzA, or excuse me, just Impaz, Battletoads is iDz, but rather, you just need to try and keep your composure. That's really all you can do.
Yep. Right now, DzA, they are definitely composed as they are going to be able to get back into that B flag. 66 now to 77. They are looking like they should be able to take over this lead very, very quickly. C flag just now going back over into the control here of iDz, but they have some players that they have to pick up first before they can actually push on out. So all 5 players are going to be back onto Charlie, which they could get bottled up here very, very quickly, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. All of these corners are being covered. You're seeing some nice little head glitches coming out for DzA, and now Fix is going to go ahead and get that pressure onto Charlie. He's going to be looking in for those players as well as Nay. So this is not going to be too good here for iDz. They've got to get a couple of kills here very, very soon. If it does not go their way, C flag will be getting captured here very, very quickly as Fix is coming all the way around on the backside. They're losing out on their fights here into the middle of the map. Bidoki is trying to make some work happen there into the mid. He's getting kind of close to B, but there's got 3 people that he's going to have to contend with. Blitz now going down, and that's going to be Fix and Nay both getting onto that C flag. And there is our 3-cap that we were talking about before, and I believe that they have cleaned up in the middle of the map as well. So yeah, that is going to be it there as the response. Now that is an interesting play right here. Take a look at this. We have all players pretty much spawning over here towards the north, and instead of going back to C, they are just hightailing it, trying to get onto A as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's kind of just one of the unfortunate, funky things about Lofton Islands is when you get that random C spawn or you get off on a deployment, you can either get further back down the hill into your deployment, or you can get the spawn on that road. And I think everybody knows that's where you can get some funky spawns. And at that point, they know that Charlie just got capped, so their best bet is to try and make a break for A and get a cap, and they were actually able to get that as well. But just talking about how DzA was able to recover here, they noticed. I noticed that they switched to a 2 support squad there, so they did eventually end up getting a little bit more range, which I think actually helped them kind of get more control over the map. As I said before, last round it was 1 support per side, but even so, it looks like they were rotating quite a lot instead of actually watching those lanes. And DzA switching to 2 supports allowed them to control a little bit more of the map and kind of end that endless pressure that we were talking about this entire time.
Absolutely. DzA now going to be getting onto that A flag. C is going to be flashing as well, so they've managed to clean up all of the pressure that was coming up over there. Battletoads, though, he's going to be in the middle of the map, and you catch possibly 3 players out of position, although it does look like they have scattered. 2 of them making their way back over towards Alpha to try and stop that burn from happening, as Fix is doing a pretty nice job of holding it down here onto the north side of the map. very, very critical part of the map. And if you can get a guy who can hold his own there, win his one-on-one, one-on-twos, and that is a very, very solid player and a very solid play that he can make over there on that side. Battletoads, though, is possibly going to be that player. Comes around the top, sees 2, picks up 2. That's 3 kills, opening up A for the cap. And that might just be the nail in the coffin here, as we do see C trading out. But still, that 2 flag bleed is going to stay in their possession. 54-22. And DzA is not slowing down now.
Yeah, just everything lining up perfect there for Battletoads. I mean, sometimes, and especially if you play support, you know that sometimes things could just line up perfectly, and especially when you have a fast-firing 20-round mag weapon like the FG42, you kind of need players to line up and kind of pile on top of each other to get some of those kills, and that's exactly what happened for Battletoads. And exactly as you said, it'll basically allow Danger Zone to keep the pressure with his 2-cap. Very nice play by Battletoads.
You do see the rotations coming in as soon as we see the big spawns coming in on for A. That does open it up for C. They cleared it out. They will be able to get those caps going in, and just really good rotations coming on in. I think they're a lot more well-timed than what we saw previously, but pressure on B is going to be mounting here, as Jax is going to be going back and forth. Not quite able to get the kill, but he did some nice little damage. His teammate is also going to be able to do some damage to him, and oh my god, finally connecting with the revolver. Took him way too long there, but B does get captured in the meantime. So not done just yet, as now we are going to be seeing C getting pressured here as well. And that is going to be Glitz getting onto that C site. Battletoads going to be coming back in with Fix and Spinner to get control of that Alpha site. That should be going down extremely fast. Impaz doing a great job here, just sneaking around onto the north side of the map towards C. Do see Fix with a nice little pinch. He does spot out 2, but not going to be able to get the kills on him. But look at this, Jax with a crazy spawn like we were talking about before. Actually comes down to the north and picks up 2. Battletoads just getting overwhelmed. Not going to be able to do much there. But that did take 5 players to take him out onto that A site. Impaz now going to have to deal with 2 players coming on into Charlie. Does have a little bit of help here from his teammates. They will be able to win out in the battle so far. Smokes are going to be coming on in, concealing. Nice little pickup there. And that will be Impaz taking out Jax, but not winning out just yet. C flag does get contested immediately. And yeah, so it does look like DzA here. They may have gotten a little bit overconfident. I did think that they were going to be able to close it out pretty comfortably, but 26 now to 12. And we are going to be seeing iDz with some more fight in them.
Yeah, I definitely think you hit the nail on the head there when you talk about becoming a little overconfident. If you actually take a look at the scores, the individual scores for DzA, Impaz going almost double positive, Battletoads almost going double positive, Fix is having a nice game for himself as well. They are absolutely out-fragging iDz here, but it looks like iDz is still, being able to out-rotate in some instances here. And I think, like I said, you really hit the nail on the head when you talk about becoming overconfident, and they just kept trying to push and get the kills and try and end the game as fast as possible. And now we find ourselves in a situation in which a couple of flags are in limbo.
Nice exchanges going down over here on the Charlie. Fix will be able to come in on top with Battletoads. They pick up 3 in this exchange, and that will give them that Alpha and Charlie setup right now. Glitz is going to try and make his way over here towards Alpha. Again, with that Brin, interesting gun here. Interesting play with it. I don't really see much advantage to it. Maybe on console it's a little bit better than on PC, but that slow rate of fire is definitely going to be hampering them. And that is going to be 12 tickets there to DzA.
Yeah, I don't know how much the burn is doing for him. I mean, last we saw him, I think he died one more time. I think he's 8-20 on the game, so a little bit of a disappointing score for Glitz there. But if you're Indominuz after that, you need to be a little bit happy with yourself, especially with how the first round went. No, you didn't necessarily win the map, but you were able to kind of give Danger Zone Argentina a bit of a run for their money there at the very end. So heading into map 2, you probably feel a little bit more confident, say, okay, they got map 1. Next map, Devastation, I believe. That's a different map. I'm interested to see if the teams are going to play it a little differently, because it is a 3-lane map. It's a little bit of a slow grind as opposed to Lafontaine Islands and Province, which, as we've seen here so far, is just everybody flying off the handle and getting as many frags as possible. So, Danger Zone Argentina coming out strong in the beginning, but Indominus, I think they have the potential to turn around here. It's just whether or not they capitalize on their gunfights.
Yeah. Well, that means that map number 1 is going to be going over to DzA, I believe. And whose map pick was that actually? I can actually see that in our information here.
Lafontaine was Danger Zone Argentina's pick. So iDz electing to go with Devastation here, as I kind of already hinted at. Pretty polar opposite when it comes to the type of maps that they are in terms of, and when it comes to map flow. So, you gotta be, at least intrigued to see how these teams play this map as opposed to Lafontaine. And of course, map 3 is Province. So iDz winning out on the map kind of gives them that map 3 a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of what we've seen so far and how they've handled these close, chaotic engagements.
Yeah, I really think, though, that if we do see a Province coming in here, that DzA is probably going to have an advantage. I just think that the way that they are playing probably lends itself a little bit more to Province. It's a very close map, extremely close map, and very prone to 3 caps. And if you can be extremely aggressive, I don't know if you saw any of the Rage Mode matches on it, but they were able to keep pressure on, and they had some nasty 3 caps on some teams throughout the season, and it was pretty brutal. But definitely lends itself well to very, very close quarters, very, very high pressure teams. So DzA right now is going to be on the United Kingdom side. We are going to be seeing the German team over here for iDz. Now, in your opinion, do any of these teams have an advantage?
It's hard to tell. I mean, I need to see first if they're going to play the map any differently. It's like, this is honestly quite weird. I mean, I'm a little bit behind you here, but Danger Zone Argentina going for a 4-man push outside left, completely ignoring the Bravo flag. Looks like they're going to try and make a play for Charlie here, but surely they're going to get called out and they might get shot down from behind here. Very interesting play here. I mean, it does look like these teams are continuing to be aggressive with their play style. So if the teams are going to continue to be aggressive, I think the advantage, at least so far, goes to DzA.
Right now, I think that iDz would be very wise to just go ahead and push out towards A. Unfortunately, it looks like they only pushed 1 player out towards that alpha flag, but that would have been perfect to just go ahead and rotate the map and get that 2-flag advantage. But going back to C, that does leave them open. They are going to only have to deal with a 3-man push here initially, but iDz will be able to clean that up. They are going to be able to get control of C, but now, well, it's basically 1 player here to defend on Bravo.
Yeah, just weird pushes here. Honestly, I'm not quite sure what to say about this. Normally teams elect to try and meet at the Bravo flag. We have seen instances in which there's like maybe a 2-man push outside on a left side or right side leak. We saw PLG try a 3-man push against Exceed in the EU Grand Final earlier this morning. That didn't necessarily work out. I can't say that I've ever seen basically a full team push to one side while, of course, your anchor captures your home flag. So, it doesn't necessarily seem, at least at this point in time, like it really benefited Danger Zone Argentina all that much. I mean, they do have a -10, so they're actually losing by 10 tickets here. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, kind of what I would, it would be interesting, and I'd just be kind of wondering if it would work. But just to go ahead, because I know back in, and I'm really reaching back here, I'll talk about it here in a second, as we do see Jax going back and forth. He does get taken down, unfortunately. His teammate is going to have some trouble here. Henrique also gets taken down, so that's going to leave B pretty much wide open. Hiroki is going to be able to pick up 1, but not going to be able to get onto that flag and defend it. Might be able to do some damage here onto the outside. And he has been able to do some, but not getting a whole lot of kills in response here. Does look like his teammates will be able to help out just a bit. And they are going to try and come in onto that B site to clear it out. More spawns are going to be coming back in. 3-4-man spawn possibly, as we do just see a hail of bullets exchanging between the two. It is going to go into the favor of DzA. On the other side, though, it does look like Jax is going to be able to come in on top versus Battletoads. Still seeing this pocket of DzA that is alive and well onto that B site, and they are going to be able to win that just because of their how close they are to that B flag. Anybody who is closer to the B flag will be able to win out on that burn. It's the way it works here in Battlefield 5, and Jax trying to go around to the backside will not be successful there in that attempt to get a flank going down, and does look like we are in a bit of a stalemate here, back and forth. Is this all 5 players? No, we do see 4 players here for iDz trying to make this happen onto Bravo. Tuna is just slowly but surely pushing on up. Spinner, the only man here on that side to actually hold this off. Battletoads does come in at the last second to pick up a kill. Smokes are going to be going down to try and get those revives going down. So far, iDz looking pretty good, but the spawns are going to be coming back in. DzA looking pretty fresh over on their side, but they are exchanging out very, very nicely here. Turns around. Fix will be able to pick up one more, and it does look like DzA will be able to come out on top. Possibly comes down to a one-on-one, and Spinner will be able to win that fight. Beautiful job right there from DzA. Really crazy going back and forth. A lot of spawns, a lot of revives, and they will be able to win out eventually onto that B site. So that was a pretty crazy exchange going down.
Yeah, that was really impressive from DzA Argentina, I gotta say. I mean, they were in a pretty bad position there. I don't know, Antunes came over on the left side and he ended up getting killed, I believe. And at one point, it looked like the entirety of DzA was stuck in that corner by the church pews. But, you know, eventually they were able to fight their way out and win that entire team fight. And, you know, I think iDz, you know, initially you asked me at the very beginning who's going to have the advantage. And I'd say just looking at the gameplay, I'm like, well, it looks like iDz is just more comfortable when the game is slower. But I feel like they got a little bit antsy and pushed their way up into DzA, and they kind of paid the price for it. And now we see DzA trying to apply more pressure on the C flag, and iDz is going to have some work to do.
Oh, nice job here from Impaz. We'll be able to pick up 2. And his teammates are going to be able to clean this out. Only 1 player left up and alive for iDz, and he is going to get taken down. So nice job there. From DzA overall, able to hold off that push, and this is going to be rough. I don't really know if they're going to be able to leak out, maybe get over towards that A flag to take off a little bit of pressure from that B site, but you know, in this instance right now, we're seeing DzA getting back up to their old antics of just, you know, push. We're going to go ahead and see a one-on-one that's going to be developing here onto the Charlie site. It is going to be Impaz once again, 7-4 so far. He's done a fairly decent job, I would say, in his kills. As a medic, spawns are going to be coming back in. But we do see a leak eventually happening over here towards A. That's going to be Bidoki. But after a lot of players were going down and not too much success really going into that B site. But in this situation right now, iDz, you know, they're not really that far in terms of tickets. I mean, if you look at it, it's what, like maybe 10 tickets, 11 tickets here so far. So not too bad, but man, it feels like that they just have not had any control in this game whatsoever.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a salvageable game for Indominuz, but they need to start capitalizing and actually winning some of these gunfights when they're leaking out. I mean, the good thing about 5v5 is that it's easier to break out of these spawn traps as opposed to playing like an 8v8 squad Conquest where there's more players you have to deal with. There's more team fights you have to win in order to be able to break out of something like this, as we see Battletoads just holding his position here. They just basically need to start winning some of these gunfights on these leagues, otherwise they're not really going to be able to break out of it. And, you know, I completely agree with you. It just seems like DzA, no matter what the situation is, no matter what kind of play style, you know, Indominuz throws at them, it just seems like they are just a little bit more cool-tempered. You know, they just seem to have control over everything.
Right now, Impaz is going to be the lone man trying to push over here on the Alpha. 3 players are going to be spawning back in. Oh, he is going to get spotted out. Nice job there from iDz just to go ahead and say, you know what, let's go ahead and do one check over just to make sure. And they are going to be able to clean that up. So that gives them an opportunity to go for a pretty nasty pinch onto that B site. And they are going to be winning out for now. But Fix is doing a fantastic job. He's able to take down 1. And his teammate, or I'm sorry, he's able to take down 2. And that does allow his teammates to get back onto that B site for the defense and keep them back over onto A for iDz. So DzA just looking overall really, really good right now. Impaz is going to be coming around the church pews here. And he connect with the shots. Unfortunately, that glitch right there just doesn't really allow us to effectively know when he is shooting when he is not, but not going to be able to get that kill. Spinner now is going to be coming back in. And nice little back and forth. He is going to be able to win out in the battle, though, just in terms of health. I think that support player... Oh, he did grab a med pack, and he is just out of there. Really good movement coming in. But eventually, Jax does get taken down. But, man, he survived long enough to get a 4-man spawn on Bravo. And that does keep them potentially out of this 3-cap situation.
Wow, that was really impressive, especially, of course, with this latest patch, there is that new spawning on a teammate. I don't want to necessarily call it a fix because, hey, if you ask a lot of players, they absolutely hate this change. But the new change in the most recent patch where if there's any, combat happening when you're trying to spawn on somebody, it'll just cancel the respawn and give you a little bit of delay and send you back to the respawn screen. And to be completely honest with you, I'm surprised that didn't happen. So, kudos to Jax there or Dax rather, to get himself and get his team back on the point, although it does look like if they're going to fall into a bit of a triple cap anyway, still, you got to admire what he was able to do there.
So in this situation right now, B flag is obviously getting hotly contested. We only have one player left up and alive. Do you try and just pump more players onto Bravo, or do you just go ahead and give up on B, let that solo player do as much damage as he can, and just try and go back for your home flag?
I think you need to try and go back for your home flag here. It looks more and more apparent to me that Bravo flag is just a very comfortable flag for Danger Zone Argentina. It's the type of engagements that they are really exceeding in, and they have been exceeding in the entire match so far. So if you're iDz, I think you try and keep an AC hold, which it looks like they have here at the moment. So you try to keep this AC hold, you try to keep them at range and try to play your game. And, 50 tickets isn't, an astronomical, impossible lead to break. It's been done before. It'll probably continue to be done after this. So, iDz just needs to bunker down and win their gunfights.
You see a push now coming back in for DzA for Charlie. Glitz is going to be back here along with Jax, and they're going to have a pretty decent opportunity to get a nice little pinch going down if Jax keeps on with his flank. But I think he is going to be spotted out. Yes, he is. Can't connect with the shots. That is rough. Unfortunately, he does end up going down. Glitz is now going to be in a 1-on-3 situation. We do see B, though, getting rotated on. And still, Battletoads, he is playing very patient over here onto A. He hasn't really gotten onto the burn yet. But Henrique, I think he knows there's a guy back here, and he's playing it very, very passively.
Yeah, Battletoads is probably just waiting for that rotation on the Bravo flag to go down before he tries and steps on the A flag. I mean, if they knew that somebody was on the A flag, they'd probably allocate a couple of guys there. But, the really important gunfight that happened there between Impaz and I think it was Gix or something or the other. And, it was a Type 100 versus an FG42. As the support player, at that range, you can't lose that gunfight. I know the Type 100 is an extremely accurate weapon, but you have the range advantage. You cannot lose that gunfight. And Glitz, letting the team down a little bit there. And it does look like, again, DzA is going to continue to keep the pressure on and keep a 2-cap as Battletoads is still up in the train. I mean, he's made himself a little bit of a vacation home as he's going to get some shots on Glitz. And, he does get the spawns off as well.
So it does look like the clear has happened on Alpha. Now we are going to be focusing over here on Charlie here. DzA kind of backed up into a little bit of a corner. We do see Jax, though, making his way up. He is going to be the first one in, and he does lose that fight extremely fast with that Sturmgewehr against him. Badoki now is going to be up by the church, and he gets taken out as well extremely fast. So all of that defense that should have slowed down quite a bit, really not doing a whole lot here. 44-82. Not a huge amount of tickets ahead, but you can definitely see that they are struggling to get back into this match for this lead. Now, what would be a comfortable ticket margin to go into round number 2 if you did lose this round?
I think about where they are right now is about as comfortable as you can get. Look, Rotterdam and Devastation, 2 very similar maps. We've seen them both play today here on ESB International TV, and it's just a situation in which, okay, look, these maps are very laney. It's very easy to fall behind in tickets, and then, on the reverse side, next round, come back and get those tickets back just based on, how your team is playing, what side your team is playing on. So anywhere from about 40 to 50 tickets is something that is probably on the bigger side of where you want to be. I think the comfortable area is anywhere from 30 to 50, but anything more than that, anything up to where the 60s or the 70s, which it looks like iDz is preventing from it getting that bad. They're stopping the bleeding at least at this point. You want to keep it a little bit manageable, but just it appears to me like iDz is just not playing the smartest. It seems like support players are rushing onto objectives and coming up against Sturmgewehrs, and obviously if you're rushing onto an objective with a support weapon and somebody's rushing at you with a Sturmgewehr, you're going to lose that gunfight 9 times out of 10 unless some magical BS happens. And it just doesn't look like they're playing to their classes. It doesn't look like they're necessarily playing together, and that's why you continuously seem to find DzA, coming out on top in a lot of these team fights.
Right now, DzA did not fare too well in that last team fight. Henrique came in for the save, picks up 2, allows the spawns there for his team, securing that B site. Now, unfortunately, we are going to be seeing A getting taken over just because it is the home flag. But if they can clean up Battletoads right now and get this burn on C, that is looking very, very good for them. They've held this 2 cap for probably for the last 2 minutes or so. And they've looked really, really good so far. 38-52 now. What was once about a 40-ticket disadvantage for them is now turned into really about 10 tickets or so here in just a few seconds. And they're winning out on Bravo so far. If they can get a couple more of these kills, they should be pretty good. They have the man advantage for the time being. Oh, what was that shot right there? Fix gets 2 kills with that Sturmgewehr, and I honestly don't even know how he picked up that headshot, but that was beautiful onto Badoki, and he is going to be able to take that dominant position there into the middle of the site. Atunas also gets picked up, and right now, it is every single time it's come into a team fight, I would say that 90% of the time, it is going in the favor of DzA. So iDz is critical here that they come out on top. No smokes are going to be coming down just yet here to get these revives. That is going to be Impasse going huge. He picks up 3, almost getting the 4th. Henrique getting very aggressive. He's just going to go ahead and try and push this advantage, but he's getting shot from 2 different sides. Battletoads is going to be locking him down, and this is just a terrible pinch for him to get in. Jax is going to be spawning back up. Glitz is going to be coming in from the C side of the map, and they have held on. Battletoad's still going to be up and alive, but he's not going to be getting that burn on B. 34-42. The bleed still in iDz's favor.
Wow, that was a really risky push by Victor Henrique, but it ended up paying off, and it was really another intense team fight on the B flag. We've had a couple of those during this round, Brett, and iDz, as much as I said, well, it doesn't look like they're playing together, it looks like they still have been able to claw it back and make this a very manageable lead. Now, assuming that they win this map, obviously that's what they're going for. But, now we're into the area where we're talking about single-digit victories, which obviously is extremely manageable when it comes to whichever team loses this round. Obviously, you're not going to sweat it too much, knowing that you only have to win by single digits this next round. Looks like DzA has been able to regain control of the Bravo flag here. Now it comes time for somebody on iDz to step up. It looks like it's Victor Henrique. He already got 2 on the flag. Let's see if he can get some more.
Oh my god, players are just jumping at him right now. Henrique was able to pick up 1 spinner, getting some nice kills there as well, but overall it is going to be DzA coming out on top. They now have a 3-man advantage onto that B side. Glitz is going to try and stay up and stay alive. B will go down 32-24, so iDz almost getting that lead back, but unfortunately those kills are going to hurt them. Now, if you guys are not really familiar with this particular, or with the way the system works for the tickets, when you do run out of your, I guess you could say your dead state, waiting for a revive to come in, or revive state rather, once you run out of that timer, you do lose a ticket. And that is why we are seeing right now DzA still in that heavy advantage, along with the fact that they have captured onto that Bravo. So they've stopped the bleed themselves, and they've been able to take 5 tickets away from iDz. And that is massive right now. Badoki is going to try and get some long-range shots there. Nice little flank there from Atunas, but not going to be enough. Henrique getting aggressive once again, followed up by Glitz, and the trades are going to be there, but Glitz goes in for the revive, and Nay is going to be there for the kill. And he saves that for his team. I really would have liked to have seen Glitz throw down a smoke before that revive. I mean, you got to be keeping those counts in your head.
I mean, that revive actually made less sense than you actually let on, because Glitz is a support player. That revive was not going to be fast either way. You know, just poor communication there by iDz. That's more than likely going to really put them even further back when it comes to tickets, although they do have members on A right now. Just really funny there. DzA tends to like that corner there. That's the second time we've seen DzA just legitimately cover all the angles in that corner with the church fuse and still end up winning that team fight. That's the second time that's happened this match. And although I think you know, Glitz going for a revive there is probably what lost the team fight for iDz there. You know, you gotta commend DzA for just playing together more than apparently Indominuz is. And Fix, you can just look at his score right now. I mean, we haven't you know, watched too much of Fix, but he's been quietly having absolutely monster games. I'm talking 2 KDs pretty much every single round. And he might even drop 30 this round, depending on how it goes. And, you know, he's playing extremely well, both him and Impaz. And, you know, at sometimes you just want to say, well, you know, iDz is, you know, not playing together. But on the other hand, you have to win your gunfights. And it does look like Fix and Impaz and Battletoads specifically for Danger Zone Argentina are doing just that.
This is looking like a closed game right now, as Spinner is going to be able to get this cap on to Charlie. The cap on A is still in favor of DzA. Just now going to start that burn, and 3 tickets left. Not going to be enough. As soon as we do see that C flag tick on over, that is going to game. But got to give it to them. iDz, they took it down to 17 tickets. As I said before, you know, this was potentially a 40 ticket game, and iDz was able to bring it back.
Yeah, 17 tickets is definitely a doable score, but at some point, as Indominus, you need to say, okay, we need to stop settling, and we actually need to go in and win our gunfights. That's what's going to be. That's what's going to allow them to win this map and force a map 3. Of course, if you're joining us right now, Danger Zone Argentina did win the first map, which was Lafontaine Islands, and of course, Danger Zone Argentina winning the first round of map 2 just now. So it's going to be interesting to see if Indominus can muster up a little bit of extra courage and win those gunfights. And really, I think the key here, Brett, is they just need to play together a little bit more. There's been a couple of questionable plays, whether it's you know, pushing angles that you really shouldn't be as a specific class. There was a couple of times where a couple of support players were rushing on the flag like they were medics and trying to get revives, those slow squad revives, and, you know, pushing certain angles and running into actual assault players and medic players, and, you know, just wastelessly, you know, wasting a life. So, you know, if Indominus is going to claw their way back into this, they're going to have to play smarter, and they're going to have to win their gunfights.
Well, you know, iDz, I'm not trying to pick on Glitz or anything here, but I really think that was a moment that could have been the turnaround point, right? Because, I mean, they would have had a full 5-man wipe. They would have had control of Bravo. They would have had most of the map control as well. So I think that probably would have been the moment that iDz could have clutched this up and taken that first round win. But, you know, with 17 tickets, it's not a massive deficit to have to come back from. That's one of the things that we've said multiple times before. Now, in this situation right now, we are going to be seeing the team swapping over. iDz, they are going to be over here onto the United Kingdom side. Now, does the United Kingdom side have any advantage or disadvantage in terms of just side positioning? Because obviously it's more than just the breakout, because it does have that home spawn that you're going to be able to come into. But, you know, it's been my experience that most of the time I see teams really struggling on this particular side.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because, you know, both sides is at map, you know, some may argue that it's not a good squad conquest map because it's so linear, but the reality is that it's pretty balanced depending on how the lanes work. I mean, if you're the United Kingdom side, which actually I think, so the United Kingdom side is on the alpha side of things, you know, they do get certain head glitches faster than the other team. And of course, on the other side, the German side gets head glitches faster in other areas of the map. And, you know, like I've been saying, it really just comes down to winning your gunfights. So there's no particular advantage if you're looking for one. It's not like one, you know, team gets to the flag super early, you know, as we do see iDz getting there maybe I don't know, a fraction of a second earlier. So there's no specific advantage here. But this looks like iDz has taken the high ground. Oh, I take that back. Looks like DzA rather has taken more of the high ground here, as iDz has found themselves in a tough position already, losing the flag.
really good shots coming in from Fix already. And they are going to be able to win out on that burn. So DzA looking good. Impaz doing a great job getting a flank. Fix, though, really going to be locking it down in terms of kills. And we do see him starting to spread on out. Where are they going to be going in? Well, it does look like we had one leaking out towards the seaside. He has been spotted, though. Glitz, he is going to be able to get onto that burn. And I think this is a smart move right now, is just to go ahead and rotate towards A. I really love this coming out from DzA right now. They didn't really do so well there in that 1-on-2 from Jax. Jax did a fantastic job of getting both of those kills. But I do like the decision making behind that. Okay, he's too far away to go back all the way to C. Let's go ahead, just rotate back onto A. It's not working out for him, but honestly, I think, you know, as of right now, they have shown that they can make some mishaps and they can come back from them.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I really like that play from DzA as well, especially considering so far, not to be too cocky for them, but you know, they've been able to win their gunfights. You know, you see somebody leaking to the Charlie flag, it's like, okay, we can come back from our spawn point, because again, that is their home flag this time around. They can come back, get the guy off the flag when it comes down to it. And you know, if you are able to leak to the alpha flag and you do come back, you do get control of the Charlie flag, you know, you find yourself walking into an easy 2-cap there. And Indominuz Jax getting a nice kill there, getting a spawn, and it does look like they do have numbers on the Bravo flag, relatively uncontested here. So, you know, maybe the play from DzA didn't work as well as they wanted it to. We'll see where those spawns come in.
Fix right now doing a fantastic job. He's 5-0 currently, and Battletoads and Nay are both going to be able to pick up kills of their own. Nay does them going down, but Fix is going to try and come back in and win this 1v1, but can't. That high ground too strong, as the head glitch is really going to be tough to beat. A still going to be in the possession right now of DzA. C look like it is going to be going back and forth. Battletoad wins out in that exchange, as they are going to start burning that into their favor. But iDz currently is going to try and hold on to this B site, as they are struggling. Well, I say that, although that's 3 players that are down almost immediately. Unfortunately, having some trouble distinguishing some of these shots from the glitch, as you can't tell when fights are really over all that often, but it's all good. Glitz is going to be coming back onto Charlie. Is going to be a 1 versus 1. Spawns should be coming back in here soon. I would imagine a couple of those players that did end up dying, but I would say that, well, Glitz, just go ahead and push this now that he has a player spawning on in him. Just find out where these players are going to be at, but not really going to be making any headway here.
Yeah, I mean, you did get the spawn right there, and it does look like, I don't know if it's a 2v1 or a 2v2, something or the other, but at this point, you need to get this guy off the flag, especially because this is Danger Zone Argentina's home flag, and that, you know, spawns could be coming in at any point. It does look like it's Impaz and Battletoads versus Glitz and Victor Enrique. They're kind of just lying on top of each other. I don't know if they know exactly where they are, and then, of course, Indominus getting some people in on the alpha flag. There's going to be a rotation here to B, I'm sure. But really, the important gunfight is going to be happening down on the Charlie flag.
Well, Nay right now is going to be in a 1v2 situation on Bravo. So they just snuck a couple of players over there towards B. Really like that idea there. They were losing A. They went ahead, spawned in. It's going to go ahead and take a flag. Oh, no! Oh, no! Nay right there goes down to the fire, so low on health. That is definitely a situation you don't ever want to be in. It looks like Battletoads is going to be able to win out in one of the fights there onto C, taking out Glitz. So Charlie will be going back into their favor, as Atunas is trying to get a little bit of a flank going down onto Bravo. We'll be able to pick up one, possibly a second one here, as he does get the hip fire. His teammate finishing him off. That will be Jax with the help. So very quick decision making here onto Bravo to go ahead and push on in. iDz looking good so far, and we do see DzA struggling just a little bit here to show that dominance, especially from the map number 1.
Yeah, I'm sure every player wants to hear a caster as well renowned as you, Brett, tell them, oh yeah, this guy's on fire, but I don't think that's exactly what they had in mind. It does look like iDz is playing a little bit stronger this round. Granted, they are still down by a couple of tickets, but it does look like they are playing more at the range that they needed to last round, but not winning the gunfights that they needed to last round. So it does look like the teams are prioritizing the B flag a little bit more heavily this round as opposed to last round. I felt like last round was a little bit more leak heavy. Indominuz still regaining control of the B flag, and now they're starting to get into a little bit of a stronger lead. Now we're getting into double digits here.
Well, DzA is definitely, you can definitely tell this wasn't their pick. They don't look as comfortable as they did on the Fountain, but they're just not winning as dominantly in these team fights as what we saw before. Taking a look right now, Nay is the last man up and alive. It's going to be a 1 versus 2. Nice headshot as he looks for number 2. Will be able to find it, but he has to go back in for the reload, and there's just too much there as he does get shot from behind. That's going to be a squad wipe that comes in. So that is definitely unfortunate, but C site is going to be the only stronghold right now for DzA. They have no players that have leaked out maybe over towards A. It is pretty much just a repeat over and over and over again, trying to get out from this Charlie side of the map. Henrique does end up going down, not before he stalled out at least one of them, but that's a 4-man potentially push coming into the side of the church, and every single one of the players that I'm clicking on right now for iDz are going down. Finally, we do see Glitz with a successful trade going back in. He will be able to pick up 1. Spots out 2 already onto the B flag. Smokes are going to be really hindering him here, as they are going to get very, very close. And, you know, as you said before, you know, yeah, the long-range shot should always go to those support players, but, man, when you get in close, it is going to be very, very tough, and that KE7 not going to be good against those medic guns. In the meantime, though, we do see a rotation over towards Charlie. Battletoads is going to go ahead and spawn back in just to maybe see if he can do a little bit of havoc, but it's going to be too much for him to really handle.
Yeah, DzA doing the smart thing there, doing the correct thing, and that's just smoking out that support player and making sure he has nowhere to run, no line of sight to get them, as DzA going on a 4-man push to Alpha here, just trying to flip the map completely. I do have a question for you, though, Brett. You know, assuming that iDz continues to hold this lead and ends up forcing a map 3, how confident are you, if you're DzA, that you'd be able to, you know, come back from having not such a strong game, you know, gunfight wise or gun skill wise, knowing that, okay, you're playing Province, you know, you have a map that caters your playstyle a little bit more?
You mean iDz or DzA on their gun skill?
DzA.
I think if you're DzA, you're looking forward to Province. I think the way that they showed how they played on Lafaten, I think that the way that they were constantly putting on the pressure and they were constantly pushing, I think that's going to be matching up really well for Province. It's a very very scrappy map, and I think the only reason why this map is maybe not working out for them as much is because there are a lot of lanes that you have to watch. There's a lot of areas that you can get attacked from. But right now, iDz looking good. We'll be able to take control of that A site. We see 2 players are going to be left back up for DzA. Spinner back here does have those health kits, so he's going to be able to keep his players up for quite a while. Smokes are going to be out, and they are going to try and put as much pressure as possible. I like this, getting in close. Not going to be able to get the kill, though. His teammate is going to have to basically fight that all alone. The other side of the map, though, we do see Fix. He is going to get taken down, and that is going to be a wipe there onto A. So only flag right now for DzA will be on Bravo. They are going to be in a 2-on, now a 1-on-3 fight for that Charlie control. Nice little pickups here from that Sturmgewehr, but just not going to be enough overall. Spinner, well, he says, Brett, you spoke too soon, buddy, and he will be able to take down both of those players, and they need to get that burn quickly on the Charlie so that they can make their way back over here towards that B site. They've got to start winning over here onto Bravo. iDz, again, they have a lead right now, but they did lose out on that first round, so it is not impossible whatsoever to think that DzA can make a comeback, and they do have that slight little 17 ticket advantage, which sometimes can be monumental in these games.
Yeah, absolutely. 17 tickets. It could either be whatever makes you, it can also be what breaks you if you get down to a very, very tight game. But something that, you know, as much as we kind of picked on Glitz at the end of last round for some of the decisions he's made, you know, I think his performance in this round is really what's allowed iDz to try and to allow them to get some better map control. He started to play better. He started to get the frags that he's needed to down those long lanes, and it's basically allowed iDz to get better control of the map, as we see DzA almost getting a 2-cap advantage there. The Charlie flag is back capping as we speak here. Fix on the Bravo flag against one other enemy. let's see if he can win these gunfights here. Going double positive again. He's, like I said, he's quietly been having an MVP caliber performance.
Yeah, Fix has been very consistent, I would say, throughout this the entire match so far. He's been very, very good. So looking right now like they will be able to hold on to that Bravo site, rotating out to Bravo. So they're having some issues on holding on to these outside flags. Definitely not going to be their best suit here. Impaz is going to be able to pick up 2, though. That is definitely going to help them out quite a bit. But they are going to be able to slow down this C cap for the time being. Not going to be able to stall it out just yet. Really like to see Spinner maybe just go ahead and test the waters, push on in just a little bit there towards C. They are losing out on the battle over onto A for iDz, so they are going to be losing out on that site. And you might be seeing DzA here in a little of a weird situation to where they might have their players strung out just a little bit too thin. They have 2 over all the way onto C. They've got 1 on A. They may have 1 or 2 over onto Bravo, but a concerted 5-man push can wipe that out fairly easily, especially if you can stagger out those spawns. Can't get the revolver kill, and that's going to be a wipe on Charlie. I don't think that is such a bad idea. If we can get those spawns up here to help out Battletoads fast enough, they should be able to hold on to this. Battletoads is going to be up, and unfortunately we do have a glitch there on the scope. But if we can see those spawns coming in, it's only Glitz right now that is burning it. So he's going to be giving a lot of time here onto A. Spinner is going to be coming back in, but Henrique has a very nice little angle that he's going to be able to expose. And we'll be able to spot out Spinner right away. Can't quite get the shots on him just yet, but that does allow them to get control of that alpha flat. In the meantime, we do see Nay going back and forth as Impaz is on the ground with Fix. Both of them have died down to a 1 versus 1. Can he get the headshot on him? Nay does not, but he does back him off quite a bit. And now, all of a sudden, again, as we've stated before, that really big lead that was happening now down to about 20 tickets.
Yeah, it was that engagement on the Charlie flag, as boring as it might have been to watch, it was just super important because really at some point when you get overwhelmed on the flag like that, and as you said it perfectly, your team gets strung out a little bit, at some point you need to accept the fact that you're probably going to die on the flag. So it's really your job as more of an anchoring player, and that's why we saw Spinner kind of just stay put down on that second level for that long time. It's really just to buy your team some time so that you can get a rotation, you can get a spawn on another flag, as we actually see a triple cap coming in here from the side of iDz, and this is exactly what they needed to try and get further control of the map. It's going to be by Doix over on the flag here in a 2v1 situation, 3v1 situation. He does get 1 there. See if he can get the rest.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what I was talking about. You spread yourself out so thin, and it's not necessarily the fact that you're spread out so thin, but the fact that you're going to be staggering those spawns. When you stagger out those spawns, you can never have that full team fight that you want. You're always going to be down at least 1 or 2 guys, and that's exactly what we saw happening. So, DzA, a little bit unfortunate there, but we are going to be seeing them starting to get back onto the C flag, but slowly but surely they are getting wiped out, and this is beautiful right now for iDz. They're now up 40 tickets. That 3 cap really showing how powerful it can be. And you will be seeing them winning out over and over and over on these engagements for Charlie. Nobody leaking out. I think those 2 players that for DzA that were trying to come in the backside of C probably should have just tried to go out for Bravo, but I'm not sure if they just kind of gave up there or what, but it looks like they are going to be able to take this here for iDz. They're looking good, even with this C cap that's going to be coming in for DzA. That 2 flag cap burn is still going to be in their favor. 14 tickets left. I'm not saying it's impossible, but a 14 ticket comeback here to try and drag them below that 17 ticket mark, that's going to be really tough.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be tough. I mean, especially with how many bodies they've had to throw on the objective just to get that Charlie cap back, and really trying to come back into the Bravo flag to get a 2 cap from this position is extremely difficult, as you see the scoreboard and the kills going out. And, as you said, 17 tickets was the magic number, and it looks like they've gotten that magic number. And it looks like we're going to be seeing a map 3 here for all intents and purposes here, Brett.
It does indeed look like that's going to be the case. DzA kind of collapsing here in round number 2. They looked really good there at the beginning. And it looked probably about 3/4 of the way through that they were going to be able to maybe make it a lot closer than what it was, getting it within 20 tickets or so. But in the end, they got maybe a little bit overzealous, and it is going to be iDz able to take the win.
Yeah, and I think you definitely hit the nail on the head when you talk about this was definitely iDz's map of choice. You saw it pretty much throughout this entire second round of this map. Not so much the first round, but they definitely got it together. As you see a cheeky 69 ticket victory here. Yeah, this was definitely the map that iDz seemed much more comfortable on. And, as I asked you kind of in the middle of that round, how things would shape up and how, these teams would feel going into a map 3 on Province, which as we saw with Lofoten Island on the first map, it was mostly dominated by Danger Zone Argentina with the just relentless pressure and aggression coming in from the assault players and the medic players. So, Province is, again, another one of those very fast-paced maps. And, well, it all comes down to this.
Yes, it does. So this is going to be a very clustery map. It does look like we have a drop here. So we don't have a drop. He just is over on the other team. What is that? I have never seen that before.
Let's just say the team balancer is working as intended.
Uh-huh.
And by working as intended, I mean not working at all, really. To be honest with you, I've never seen that myself. This is the first time I've seen that. I mean, it's an easy fix. You could just rejoin on an empty squad and fix that really quick. But yeah, I don't know.
This map is going to be I think it's going to be a massive flag trade. You're going to be seeing a lot of really good team fights going back and forth. It's going to be chaotic and crazy. So looking forward to how this is going to be playing out. DzA, though, will be on the German team, and we are going to be seeing the United team here for iDz. Now, DzA, I think, has the harder side, in my opinion, at the very least in the PC games that I have cast. It is definitely the side that you see more of the triple caps coming in on. So we'll see if that's going to be the case this time, or will we have a very close game from both of these teams going down to those very, very low digit numbers. We are going to be seeing Raven right now coming on into that Bravo flag. We'll be able to pick up one. I think that his team has, for the most part, cleared out that top level. So he is going to be able to do a little bit of damage, but has to back on out. Only one player left to clear out of this site. They should be able to get control of Bravo fairly quickly. No rotation up to A just yet. It does look like Spinner is a little bit slow on that rotation. And do we see the spawns coming? Interesting to see all the spawns over on C as opposed to maybe one coming in from home. Try and catch this guy right here. This is going to be Badoki. This is where it gets really dangerous because he is going to be able to come in from behind, cause a lot of havoc. We do see Jax, though, able to get that revive and keep any pressure from coming out towards that B site. A is getting contested, so that is definitely going to be good here for DzA, but iDz, well, they are doing a fair amount of damage. DzA able to get onto that A site, will be able to get onto Bravo maybe here in just a few seconds. Fix is going to be looking good at 4-1. He's going to try and make it 5-1 here in just a few seconds, but he has been playing lights out this entire match, so no reason why he wouldn't be playing lights out right now, as they will be able to get onto that Bravo burn in just a few seconds. Pops out number 5. That will be a clear onto that Bravo site.
Yeah, as you said, kind of interesting spawns to all spawn on the C flag instead of just spawning on the random home deployment, but it ended up working out for them as somebody was able to get to A, so we see kills getting traded out across the map here. Raven's actually a sub, if I remember correctly. I'm not quite sure who got subbed out for the side of DzA, but he appears to be making somewhat of an impact so far. He had a couple of nice kills over on the Bravo flag, as the flags are mostly red right now for the side of DzA, and iDz finding themselves in a very precarious position here early on, which is not what you want to see, especially if you're iDz, you're coming off of a great map 2 win, probably feeling pretty good about yourself. That feeling is probably going to go right down the pooper right about now.
Does look like Henrique is trying to hold on here onto A, but that is a lot of pressure, and he is not going to be able to successfully live for too long. Two players are going to be coming back in. Both of them are going to have those nice close range guns. Blitz needs to go ahead and back on out, and he is going to try and hold that angle, allow his team to leak on out, and they do. So we see 4 players leaking over here towards Bravo. And that little bit of a 3-cap is going to really show how strong those 3-caps can actually be. I mean, take a look at the score right now. You're looking at a 30 tickets or so advantage for DzA, and they are really looking like they're going to be able to push this advantage even further. B flag now going back into their favor. Impaz going to be coming back in with that LMG. Nice little pickup as he takes down Bidoki, and he's looking for another one here, but there's nobody else left. Back to a one-on-one. It's going to be Glitz here. Now, he did save his life. He's using the KE7, so support versus support. FG versus KE7. KE7 is going to be able to come out on top, but a big push there from his teammates will be able to help him out. Fix is now going to be coming back in. 9-2. We've seen this guy really lighten it up so far, and he's going to have a really good position here to cut off these reinforcements. You can hear the footsteps all around him right now. He's going to try and find him through the smoke. We'll be able to spot out one. Unfortunately, can't connect with all of those shots, and he's going to be able to find him sitting right next to his buddy there. A is going to be getting flashed here once again, and yeah, this is just not looking good here for iDz. They need to try and get out towards this A and B site. Nice pickup there from Henrique, though. That is a very critical shot that just came in that will open it up for a C-cap, as well as on Bravo, going back and forth pretty even throughout both of these teams, as Atunes will be able to help out his team. Bidoki getting 3 kills of his own before he did get picked up, and that is fantastic breaking out of that. 94 tickets to 137. Now, what can they do on the flip side of this? If you remember right, we are on opposite sides of the map for both of these teams, so it's going to be a little bit awkward as spawns can be coming in from home and attacking from the backside, but we'll say, so far, iDz holding their calm and looking pretty decent here on this retake.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they need to do. They cannot, under any circumstances, just fall into the type of play style that DzA has been trying to enforce their will upon iDz this entire match. I mean, DzA has been the aggressor pretty much the entire match tonight. And, you know, if you're iDz, you just cannot get, I guess, anxious, and you cannot get overconfident and try to just, you know, try to match the speed and the aggressiveness of DzA. And, you know, they've done a good job so far of trying to limit the amount of lead that they've had from that initial triple cap. And I think what really helped them from, you know, completely going, you know, upside down under is the fact that they were able to get an early rotation to the Bravo flag. And as I'm saying that, iDz coming in with a triple cap of their own right now. Impaz doing some work on the alpha flag, so this triple cap itself will not last too long, but now iDz has the opportunity to apply a little bit of map pressure of their own. But as I said, you know, map pressure, that's kind of DzA's name of the game, so you don't want to get too carried away with that.
Well, as I said, this is going to be a very scrappy game, and as we've seen so far, it is absolutely that. We've seen 3 caps from both teams so far, and DzA now getting onto that C site, so they're going to be able to prevent a 3-cap of their own, unless Jask has something to say about it. He is going to be coming back in with that medic kit, and we'll see if he's going to be able to take him off of the C site. He has stopped the burn, the neutralize, so that is pretty critical there. That's going to be more tickets on the board for himself, but he only able to pick up 1 kill. In the meantime, we do see a nice little exchange here onto Bravo, as it will be DzA winning out on everything there. He pretty much cleared out that entire site. Fix, Nay, and Impaz all getting a kill of their own, and that's something that you gotta love seeing there. Taking a look right now at the scoreboard, though, nothing really reaches out and says, you know, oh my god, here for iDz. They don't really have anybody carrying them. But over on the other side for DzA, take a look at Fix and Nay. 13-5 and 12-5, both up into the double digits. They are putting some massive numbers up on the board, and just looking fantastic overall on this map.
Yeah, you know, it's basically what we've been saying this entire time. Like, it's scrappy, really fast-paced action, and that's what these DzA guys are really impressive, you know, to watch, you know, them do that. You know, you talk about Impaz, you also talk about Fix just being the consistent, you know, threat throughout this entire match, and we're seeing once again all the flags turn the color red for Danger Zone Argentina, as we're going to see about a 3 or 4 man push onto the Bravo flag here. And it's going to be interesting to see whether or not iDz can get their stuff together and get a retake and stop the bleeding once again. You know, the ticket's not as far apart as you'd imagine with how this match has gone so far, Brett.
Yeah.
But you know, they're entering the danger zone. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, this particular map, it's either a blowout or it's just right down to the nitty gritty. I mean, there's really nothing in between when it comes to this particular map here. But Impaz is going to be making his way over for the defense on C. B did get taken back over here for iDz. They're trying to get back up onto A as well, which is their home flag. And Henrique is going to be able to get on top of it. Tries to get that revive here for his team. Don't know if that was the smartest move there. Thought he had some backup there from his teammates, but doesn't look like Jax did end up getting picked up. That will be an A hold. And now Atunez is trying to be able to cut off his reinforcements over onto Bravo. And he is not going to be able to survive too long. And small little decisions like that are going to have a massive impact on a game like this.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the second time we've seen an iDz player elect to go for a long revive on a teammate instead of backing off and waiting for spawns. And this is, as a result, the second time that we've seen DzA completely take control of the map as a result. You know, Glitz did it on the first round of Devastation, and Victor Henrique tried to be the hero here in this first round of Province. And you know, sure, they are, you know, getting a flag of their own on the Charlie flag right now, but I do believe this is also Danger Zone Argentina's home flag as well, so this isn't even the flag that you really want to have in this situation. It's just the small decisions like that that have really, thus far, made iDz just have a much more difficult time than they probably should be having with this team.
Well, what's got to be frustrating about that last engagement over on the A is the fact that they did have it. I mean, they had the burn going in their favor. Henrique, all he had to do was pretty much just stay alive and make sure he was sitting on the burn. Could have had at least one more player spawning back in. And, you know, I think sometimes players, they don't think about the revives and bleeding out as intelligently as they should. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but, you know, there are some times to when you should just go ahead and just, you know, bleed out as fast as possible. And there's a couple of reasons why. One of them is that you can kind of fool the other team into thinking, okay, there's not anybody else around here to give him a revive. He's potentially just doing it so that he can get on the map as fast as possible. But two, it also gives those opportunities like when Henrique was alive and in a position where he can just kind of one-on-one standoff onto A. Get that spawn in as quickly as possible. Make it a one-on-two and then push the other guy.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of these decisions are just to try and keep up with the amount of pressure that DzA is inflicting on the map. It's kind of just installed this panic across the entire map. It's like, okay, we got to get up, we got to get up, we got to rotate, we got to make sure that we don't get out-rotated and outslayed by this team. And that's leading to just very rash decisions. You know, you kind of glossed over it a little bit, but they would have probably won that flag if, you know, Victor Enrique didn't go for that revive. And now, as a result, we see DzA with a commanding 88 ticket lead here, ending on a strong note with a triple cap. And that's got to be soul crushing for iDz, who came off a pretty strong showing on second round Devastation.
That's got to be pretty rough right there, especially because they did look really competitive throughout that match. It wasn't until the very end there that they were just losing pretty much everything. Was a shame. I mean, they were really looking good. So now that we do see DzA with a pretty hefty advantage going into map number 2, this is going to allow them, well, it's going to allow them a lot of leeway. Now, I do think that they are going to be on the harder side of the map. I think it's going to be more difficult, in my experience anyways, to hold off a 3 cap. But so far, they've been winning their gunfights. They've been winning most of their team fights as well. And they've been doing really, really well with rotating. I think that they did a fantastic job of rotating on that particular map, especially when they were getting 3 capped. They weren't bottled up the entire time over there at C. They were able to consistently keep players out and about on the map and constantly hitting other places.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they were doing a really good job with their rotations, pretty much there up to the end. So it's going to be interesting to see how iDz, recovers from this. I'm not quite sure that there's a better side on this map like you do, but if theoretically, if there is a better side, now it's time for iDz to step up and put their big boy pants on, and 88 tickets, or excuse me, they'll need 89 tickets to come out with a victory, and in these grand finals for the season 1 PlayStation 4 South American League. But the time is now. I mean, you need to play your best round so far tonight, and it's going to be hard against a danger zone Argentina team that just seems to be oozing confidence right now.
Are going to be seeing that massive clash there into the middle of the map. It is going to be some exchanges going back and forth with teams. No kills yet going down. It looks like Impaz is going to be waiting very, very patiently there into the bottom side of it, of the site. More spawns are going to be coming in, revives as well. But it is going to be going into the favor right now of iDz. DzA trying to clear out as many of these players as possible. Not too sure why Impaz is facing the opposite direction there. Probably a glitch. But we are going to be having Fix going back and forth. And nice little headshot. Once again, this guy has been playing just lights out this entire time in the game. Nice job there, timing that kill with the revive going in. Almost picking up a second one as well. But they are going to be getting pushed off of that Bravo side. Fix not able to do it all. And now DzA, where are they going to be pushing in from? Raven, looks like he's going to be going to Bravo. We do see Impaz looking out for that push from Glitz that inevitably always comes in a situation like this, especially with iDz. If they can get out to a very early 3 cap, do that damage, that is going to be very beneficial for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Fix probably could have won that battle on the Bravo flag. He actually got a little screwed over by the game there. There is a glitch where you try to lie down on your back and the game just says, nah, we're going to have you crouch instead. And I think that's what we ended up seeing there. So that's a little unfortunate for DzA there. But iDz about to come in with a triple cap. And man, this just looks eerily similar. I mean, you talk about the way the first map went. It was a lot of triple caps at the start, and then on the second round, there was a triple cap there. The team's just kind of throwing in triple caps, and we're seeing that yet again here, although it does look like DzA is going to be able to avert that triple cap on the Charlie flag. Almost everybody spawning in to save that flag, as now it looks like there's going to be a rotation on the Bravo flag. So close but no cigar for iDz, but they do need to keep up that pressure because the time is of the essence.
DzA right now, that is going to be Nay getting onto that Bravo side. Now, he did a decent job of getting it burned down, but both of his reinforcements have gotten picked up, and Nay is trying to find where these last players are at. So far, he is not winning out on that burn. This is a 2 versus 1. He can hear the footsteps getting shot from behind. Does end up going down, so that does leave this open up for an A push. DzA is going to go ahead and make that play, and this is what I was talking about previously. We saw iDz getting those triple caps early on, but DzA rotating extremely well. They're not putting all of their eggs in one basket, and they're able to move around the map, I think, a lot faster than what we've seen iDz doing. Now, iDz going to try and get control back of their home flag. Atunes is going to be coming back on in. He is currently the tip of the spear, but that spear is blunted extremely fast as he does get picked up. Blitz is going to be coming around here with that hipfire spray. KE7 not going to be doing the job. And, I mean, is the KE7 really, better than the FG?
I don't think so. That pick continues to astound me. Maybe, in certain situations, maybe a player is just more comfortable with that weapon, but I don't understand why you're not running an FG42 here. I mean, it's the better weapon in close quarter combat, and the KE7 can be really difficult to control sometimes, especially with the random recoil that this game has. So I just do not understand that pick, and I can only assume that, hey, maybe that's just what he's most comfortable with, but it's lost him some gunfights for sure, especially because the hipfire on the KE7 can be not so great.
Not only that, but isn't the rate of fire on the FG higher?
I believe it is.
The amount of DPS that you're going to be able to throw out is going to be a lot more. But anyways, Atunes is going to be coming back in onto A. They're going to try and get this burn here back for iDz. Clearing out this church, making sure nobody is going to be in there. It's causing them some trouble. As Bravo also getting contested, Henrique is going to be making his way back inside. And he's going to be able to get an easy kill, possibly 2. No, not going to be able to finish it off. That's It's definitely a frustrating situation. Just seems like the timing was not in their favor, as Fix is going to be winning a one-on-one back over here versus Glitz. And Fix not having the massive impact that we saw previously. He's only +2 so far in his KD. But taking a look overall, iDz actually looks pretty damn good. I mean, you got Henrique going 9-4, putting up some really good numbers there for his squad. And unfortunately, it's just not translating too much into the game itself. 120 to 126 as DzA now stabilizing and getting control back with this burn.
Yeah, it looks like iDz is doing what they need to do in terms of winning their gunfights, but it hasn't necessarily translated into a massive lead yet, as a Spinner comes out of the church and just absolutely wallops. I think that was Victor Henrique, that was Biodux. But now it does look like, DzA is going to begin to try and get that more, fast-paced map control, as, the flags are currently blue, except for, the Charlie flag, which 1v1 is going on the Charlie flag, I believe. Maybe that kill was already traded out. I'm a little bit behind, but yeah, it looks like, at least at this point, Danger Zone Argentina is now, it's getting to that point in the game, Brett, where DzA just starts to pull away for whatever reason, whether it's just they're winning their gunfights or they're rotating that much faster than iDz is.
Blitz now making his way over onto that C site. He's got to get this flag back for his team. They've got to kind of get some kind of control, some semblance of control. His teammate comes in from the backside, so a little bit of a bait and switch. Now it's a 1 versus 2, 2-on-2 as the spawns do come in. Nay doesn't last too long as he does get picked up, but we see Fix able to pick up Henrique. Now Fix also going down, so really good job there onto that C flag, but they are going to have some issues continuously having to deal with those players spawning back in to take back onto that site. Spinner doing all that he can over onto A, but it's just not enough. Spawns are going to be coming in here towards the north. Ooh, that is a very strange spawn, as we've talked about over here. The north spawn's very odd on this particular map, as it is going to come down to Raven able to win out 4-6. So if you got to win out on a gunfight, that's definitely one you want to do. But we are looking at a potential 3-cap that's going to be coming on up. DzA, all of that praise and all of that love that we were giving him before, not helping him so much, as they are losing out. iPaz is going to be coming back in to help out, taking down Jax. They will be able to get control of this A flag. I believe they are getting taken out slowly but surely. Spinner is going to be left up and alive. We do see Antunes making his way back over here for that C push.
DzA electing for a 2-support player push here, and I don't really know if that's the answer. I mean, especially when your bread and butter the entire game has been pushing the absolute you-know-what out of iDz and forcing them to make mistakes and, win those close-quarter gunfights. And now they're electing for, some more long-range weapons. Now, granted, the FG42 is probably the most medic and assault rifle-esque LMG that you can play with in this rule set, but I don't know, that just doesn't make any sense to me, as it's allowed, in my opinion, to keep iDz in this game, even though there has been times where DzA has been, enacting that pressure that we've been giving them praise for all game.
Nice job here from Antunes as he makes it 3, pulls out the pistol. Not quite able to make it happen as his teammate steals the kill from him, but that is going to be a C flag hold. DzA now, they are going to be losing the lead. 88 now to 90 as iDz coming out with a second win. Now remember here, DzA did win by 88 tickets, so technically they can win here in about 2 tickets as it goes down to 90, but nonetheless, it is looking like a much closer match than what we saw previously.
Yeah, I mean, even though the tickets are now coming down to the nitty-gritty, and this is really where, teams are going to have to lock up. I mean, you need to be proud of this performance here, keeping this game as close as it is. DzA only ended up with that lone cap on the A flag, although there are numbers about to be pushing the Bravo flag through the middle of the map. iDz needing to hold on here.
We see Glitz rotating up here towards the north. 3 players are going to be up on Bravo. Should be able to get that burn extremely fast here for DzA. And you do see that rotation coming on in as Glitz pretty much uncontested. For the time being, though, might not be able to get that clear completely. Impaz does end up going down onto Bravo. So Nate making his way back over here towards that A site. Should be able to get a pretty easy kill right here. He does have, I think, the better weapon in this situation. His teammate does clean him out. So that is going to be a nice little exchange, although Henrique comes in with a 2-kill onto Nate and Spinner. Immediately as that flag was capped, he is going to start that decap process. So DzA just not looking too hot here in round number 2. We do see iDz with a second win looking pretty decent. They are going to be winning out over here onto Bravo as well. Fix and Raven both getting picked up. We do see some spawns coming out into the back. That's going to be Spinner. He's going to have some trouble coming on out of there. That is one hell of a choke point to have to fight yourself out of.
Yeah, that's definitely not one of my favorite choke points to look down when I'm playing Province, but DzA probably taking their foot off the gas just a little bit, knowing that, you know, victory with the tickets is in sight here. You see Glitz back on his artillery, going to be walking into a 2v1 situation here, and he's about to get called out, or he has been called out rather, and you know, really the strength from iDz really has been dependent on how well their long-range players have been performing. And for most of, you know, the time tonight, it's really not been favorable for them, and they've really allowed DzA to gain that map control and just ramp up that pressure incrementally throughout the entire match. And that's just not something that, you know, apparently you're just going to not be able to win by doing that.
Blitz here trying to play a little bit sneaky over onto Bravo. He does get the shot, almost a headshot with that KE7. About to say, I was like, might look stupid here by trying to play so slow, but hey, ends up making it look good. And now he's going to be pushing up on top of that Bravo side, get some spawns off as well, so this is going to allow him to start winning out on that B burn. And he needs to go ahead and make a decision to push on in here pretty soon. And slowly but surely, are going to be losing out. Looks like his teammate did get picked up over onto Bravo. A is going to be exchanged. iDz will be able to pick this up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't seem like throughout the entire match, you know, these classes have been put in, you know, really good positions. As you see the scoreboard right now, Impaz, you know, probably having his best game so far, and you know, that's saying a lot considering how well he's played in this match along with Thick.
That's 4 right there. Impaz just picked up 4 kills on Bravo. That was beautiful play right there from him.
Yeah, just speaking it into existence, and you know, he just absolutely, you know, massacred iDz there on the Bravo flag, and you know, the route is on here. DzA do need to gather themselves a flag cap. It looks like that flag is going to be Charlie, as the ticket difference, you know, it does, well, rather the ticket difference currently in the favor of iDz, but looks like they are getting back control of the map here.
They are slowly but surely getting that control, as you said. And you do see that A burn just so damn fast. C is going to get contested here as Nay spawning back up. But I think he's going to have some decent positioning here. Although he does get spotted out, unfortunately. He'll end up going down. It's going to be a 2-on-2 coming back over onto Bravo. Fix is going to be having the high ground here. 18 and 12. Not the best KD that we've seen him having here in these games. But definitely a solid performance coming him overall. And some pretty good decision making overall as well. So should be able to win out over onto Bravo. They do. Raven, a stand-in as well here for this map. He's also done some pretty decent work as well. Not the most showy in terms of KD, but definitely winning out on some very critical gunfights through both of these teams. So good work from this team.
Yeah, really nice sub coming in from DzA. Raven subbing in for Battletoads because, of course, Battletoads was playing the support class for the majority of the first 2 maps here. Obviously, DzA electing for a more rush-heavy approach and electing not to play more supports as the game continues to wind down here. And the lead that iDz once had now becomes closer and closer to single digits. DzA forcing themselves on the C flag 3v1 and getting that done.
There's a triple cap coming in. You do see a leak here from a Tunez getting out towards that A side. Doesn't really matter here at this point, as I think both of these teams are just pretty much running around trying to find each other and kill them. They're not really worried about holding onto these sites too much. B is going to be left open. We do see a 4-man push here onto A. Tunez he picks up all 4 of these kills, he is going to be a god of Battlefield, but not going to be here today, fortunately, as we do see Fix now making his way back over onto Bravo. 28-26, as you said before, lead is going to be changing, and Fix is going to start lighting it up. As we said, he's been a solid player, and now all of a sudden 21-12, he's looking to try and get up into those 2 KD region, and looking like he might be able to make that happen before this game is over. But I think that this is going to be the nail in the coffin right here, as DzA looking very, very strong to finish this out, 28-15. And with this C flag cap, it's not really going to help a whole lot. You can see right there, Fix is going to be coming on in. He does get taken out, but there's nowhere near possible to get back into this game, I think, at this particular point. Players are going to be spawning back in here for the defense. Nice little shots there from Nay. Just overall, really good plays coming out from both of these teams. I got to say, this was a much more enjoyable match than I figured it would be. Both of these teams really slugging it out and playing some really hard-nosed Battlefield throughout the entire day. And I would say, other than that very first round, we didn't really see any too much like massive dominance. I mean, round number 1 did go 125 in favor of DzA. So yeah, that was a bit of a one-sided affair. But overall, I think that both of these teams very closely matched.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. The first round of Lofoten had me worried this was going to be a quick grand final for South American ESB Season 1 T5. But you know, as the match went on, you know, the games got closer and closer, and likewise the games got more entertaining. And you do have to give credit to iDz. They did play a very good game towards the end, and they really kept their composure and ended up making a lot of these games closer. And, you know, but at the end of the day, it was just a couple of really questionable minute-to-minute, like moment-to-moment decisions that really screwed over a lot of their momentum, and it ended up losing the game, whether it was an errant push with a weapon you shouldn't be pushing with, a bad revive, maybe just bad communication, bad rotations. That's what ended up screwing them over here, as looks like DzA coming down to the wire here. iDz might actually end up winning this last map in terms of rounds, but as we get to the end of it, Danger Zone Argentina, the Season 1 PS4 South American Grand Final champions of the ESB League, however you want to check it up. Congratulations to DzA, well deserved.
Only on esportbf.com.